Hello, and welcome to my guide on Uma Musume. This is going to be the absolute beginner's guide, and we're going to get like hands-on gameplay. You're going to kind of see me go through an entire gameplay, but I'm skipping a lot, and particularly a lot of races, but I make sure you guys are able to understand all the basics with how to play a career, how this game works, what the gameplay loop looks like, and what the goal of the gameplay is. Because Uma Musume is a very unique mobile game. It doesn't play like pretty much any other mobile game or really any other game I've played ever. So Uma Musume is really fun. It's a mix between Derby Owners Club, which has people raise their horses and race them together, but it's with anime girls. Now this guide is pretty dense, obviously. I think we're clocking in about 40 minutes. What you want to do if you want to be able to look for anything is pay attention to the timestamps, skip to whatever you want, and use the show transcript button and Control F. If you do a find and search for like the term you're thinking about, chances are I talk about it and that you'll be brought over to that exact timestamp. And of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Thank you and enjoy the video. Okay, the first mistake to avoid is do not roll for a character. Do not roll for a character. Don't roll for this one. Don't roll for this one. If you're wanting to raise well, like any horse, everything starts from the support cards. So support cards are the most important thing over like the horse girls themselves. If you really like TM Maporel, then sure, go ahead. If you, I don't know, want different characters, go ahead. But the object of the game, it isn't necessarily like, oh, you have better horses, better horse girls, but there's also raising them as well. And you'll never get really good horse girls without the ability to raise them. So before thinking about getting like a 3-star horse girl, the best thing to do is definitely go for the support cards because it affects your ability to raise any of these horse girls. Okay, so I've been doing this for a while now. Essentially, if you want to reroll, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is hit the return to title screen button. Then you can go to here, say delete user data. User data deleted, and you just start it. And so long as you still have the game data on your client, you'll just be able to do this, do that, click I agree, do your region, do your birthday, we'll just do that. And sometimes it does say an error occurred while downloading, and it's good for me to showcase this because if this does happen, what you should be able to do is restart the game. So you'll just turn it off. You'll turn it back on. And it should work. Yep. And then you'll be able to skip the tutorial if you've downloaded the game, if you already have the game data on file. And just to go over the cards again, I wanted to highlight some of the reroll targets you might have because rerolling is really fast in this game. If you like the game, then I would suggest going for these cards. This is pretty much one of the best cards you can get in the early game. Has good race bonus, it has initial friendship gauge, so it's really easy to train stamina off the get. It's really hard to kind of explain this without going into detail about the gameplay, but if you could take my word for it, you could also check across other sites and check their tier list. This is the #1 card, and the other #1 card to get is this one, Find Motion. Okay, so those two cards are basically like if you get both of those, your account is set for a while. It's a really, really good pair. But besides that, and you don't need like both of them, you could have just one of them too. Besides that, this is rated highly as well, Tazuna Hayakawa. The only problem with Tazuna is that there will be other scenarios later in this game's life cycle that will come out, and Tazuna won't really have a lot of use for that. But for the time being, while we do have this scenario, Tazuna is really good. It's not like you need a min-max, you know. The most important thing is having fun with the game. So if you're stuck re-rolling for a long time, don't worry about it. Just play the game. So once you have your cards, right? I was able to roll a Silent Suzuka and a Tazuna. The next thing you probably want to do is to level it up. Initial speed, training effectiveness. You definitely want that, and we definitely want this as well. Failure protection, energy, cost reduction. That's really good. So try and level up your good cards. The only thing I would say for this, like, what horse girl do you pick? Don't pick a 3... Like, I have the Silent Suzuka card. I can't really pick Silent Suzuka as my first 3-star horse girl because I can't use the same card with the same trainee. If I'm doing a Silent Suzuka career, then I cannot use Silent Suzuka as a card because your support cards are essentially your horse girl's best friends, right? The ones that they train with. So we can't do that. So let's take a look at the voucher. It really just depends on what type of horse girl you want and how you want to make them. If I look at Special Week, I'm looking at her style of racing. I noticed that she's not very good at front running, right? But I built 2 cards that are supposed to make my front runner really good. So I can't really get this horse girl. Again, Silent Suzuka, she's very good at front running, right? That's exactly why her support card helps support other front runners. But you can't use the Silent Suzuka card when you're training Silent Suzuka because Silent Suzuka can't be a friend to Silent Suzuka. So we're not able to do that. We have to take a look at other cards that have like good front running, and that's typically what we would be looking at. Maruzensky is a pretty good card. Maruzensky is definitely a very good horse girl, so I might be able to pick her up, and I think I might. Oguri Cup is very good for being able to do dirt racing, and the only other good dirt horse girl there is Taiki Shuttle and Haru Urara. Haru Urara, though, is... She does have dirt racing, but she's usually used to kind of pass down that trait to the other horse girl because she herself is a pretty mediocre dirt racer, even though she's like a viable dirt racer, if that makes sense. So Oguri Cap is a very good one, but if it's not the cards you have, then you might not want to pick her. Taiki Shuttle is decent. We could have her and build her towards being a front racer for sure. But let's see what her skills look for. Yeah, she wants to be a mile runner, but yeah, she could definitely be a front runner if she wanted to. Mejiro McQueen. Mejiro McQueen could be a front runner for sure, but she is a long distance racer, and I'm not too sure if I have the stamina cards for that. Usually if you're playing like if you're trying to raise a long distance racer, then you want good stamina because stamina is like the most important thing about long distance racetracks. Symboli Rudolph is probably good for what I want to do. She could be a front runner. She has good stamina growth rate. So because it's already inherent that she's really good at building stamina, it's okay that we could give her something like Silent Suzuka and speed her up. And then there's Rice Shower. Rice Shower is very adorable, but she is a very moody horse girl. So there's a lot of bad events with Rice Shower. If you want to go for it, do it. It's fun. But from what I remember, Rice Shower is a little difficult to raise. She has her quirks. I don't think it's... I'm not trying to scare anyone from picking her. She's definitely fun to play. All right, so this is the game of Uma Musume, okay? You could get to the screen by clicking here on the career button. This is the URA finale. This is the race created by director Akikawa, I guess. And essentially it's the most basic scenario, and it's the one that the game initially starts with. There'll be different scenarios that have different effects, different events, more importantly, that affect your horse girl in vastly different ways. But this is the beginning one, and this is the one that's going to be here for quite a bit. This is how you start the game, so you just go in. So I've got my horse girl. She's good at front running, and she's okay on medium, but I want to make her better at medium. So we're going to pick her. This is the trainee. You can pick whatever horse girl you want. Eventually, you are going to raise a lot of the horse girls that you have. So don't be like, oh, I need to just pick one and only one. It's like, eventually you'll get to play with all of them, right? That's the idea anyway. If you want to be able to have a wide, diverse choice of what traits you can pass down, what skills you can pass down, which is what you want, right? And also you want like achievements, you want to improve them. increase their star rating, right? Then you're going to eventually play with all of them. I know for sure a lot of people are going to play Haru Urara because Haru Urara is like the only horse girl here that has an A in dirt rating. And you will have to make a good dirt racer eventually. Let's just hop into the game and see exactly what this game is all about. So we'll do this, and we are going to be able to pick 2 legacy Umas. Now, my choices here are really bad because I haven't played the game yet, right? Once you play the game and you complete a scenario, then your horse girl, like in my example, Maruzensky, is going to appear here and be able to pass down her traits to a different horse girl. And that's why I say it's like you're not going to stick with just Maruzensky. You're not going to stick to one horse girl because Maruzensky cannot be passing down traits to the next Maruzensky, right? It doesn't work like that, right? These horse girls are their own individuals. They cannot pass down to themselves. So Maruzensky, we are going to get just whoever can give me a medium rating is what I would like. So yes, we'll play Daiwa Skaret, and we'll just pick anyone else that kind of gives us what we need. It's not really that big of a deal right now, but probably someone that allows good sprint racing is fine. So Vodka or Sakura Bakshino is pretty good. And I think for medium tracks, you definitely want some stamina. We'll just go with Sakura Bakshino, and we could go and start with that. You can get friend cards, and I'll probably just go with a EP up card, so event point rate up card. So we'll just go with Tokai Teo because you kind of want to double up on a stat that your horse girl is going to prioritize, and Maruzensky is going to typically want to build a lot of speed. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so I'm going to skip the story. You guys can read the story yourselves, right? We're going to basically shorten all events. Yeah, shorten all events. And so it just boils down to the choices in gameplay. But certainly you don't have to do that. So we're going to skip. And this is just the spark of inspiration. So just to break down exactly what happened, the spark of inspiration happened first. And that happens at the start of every start, every run, every career, and you're going to just get the passed down traits of the legacy Umas that you selected prior, right? And the idea of the game is to complete the 3-year career of your horse girl and make a really good legacy Uma, and eventually you'll be able to make a really good PvP racing Uma. So if I go over here, then you can see that I have 120 skill points that I could use to learn a skill. So she already knows her signature skill. I could use this right now, but typically the skills don't matter right now. The skills only matter when you race. So we're going to focus on training. This is the main thing you're going to be doing. So when you're looking at training, definitely read this if anything I'm saying is confusing to you, but I'm already pretty familiar with it. When you're looking at training, you're looking at a couple things. First of all, look at the failure rate. Right now it's 0. It's 0 because Maruzensky has max energy. Whatever training I do, it'll tell me exactly how much stamina is going to be used from it, okay? So you don't want to do the training if the failure rates are too high unless you're trying to really push and really make a very top tier or very high grade horse girl. But the first training is obviously not going to fail because we're full energy. So besides that, you want to look at like, hey, what stats am I going to get? With speed training, you get majority speed, but you get a little bit of power. With stamina, you get majority stamina, but a little bit of guts, and so on and so forth. Every training is kind of like that. There's a main stat, and then there are substats that it also improves, okay? Wit is the only kind of unique one compared to all the other trainings in that it doesn't take up energy, and when you do it, it actually recovers a little bit of energy. Another way to recover energy, and the main way, is by resting. You are able to recover a good chunk of your energy. The other thing you're looking for are the support card effects. So you can see if I do speed training, you'll see my relationship with Tazuna, right? And this is my card. This is my support card. That's just why we are building the support deck. If I do stamina training, then she's going to build friendship with Marvelous Sunday. If I do the speed training, we're going to build friendship with the Tokai Teo. Here, we're going to build it with Mihono Bourbon. And here we're going to build it with Silent Susuka and Manhattan Cafe. So what you're looking for are training sessions with multiples of the support cards that you want to sort of build friendship with. And the reason why you want to build friendship with it is because once they reach the 4th bar, they start giving you more bonuses to your training. And on top of that, they're more likely to pass down skills to you and teach your horse girl skills, and as well trigger their special events that can teach your horse girl even more skills. You definitely want to be able to look at all your training options before deciding which one. And this is the sort of random element that makes sure that every sort of run that you do, every career that you play is different. These friendship ratings do not carry over to any subsequent run or whatever. This is only pertaining to this career, this horse girl, this gameplay right now. For this one, we are going to go... I'm going to go with Wit, because I'm going to have 2 friends to help her study, and she's also going to get a good boost of energy from that. And we're going to build a friendship with 2 horse girls at a time. So you'll see we'll do this. And you'll see that both of those ratings, the friendship ratings, went up. You'll notice here that there is an exclamation point. So if I look at the exclamation point, you could see that Silent Susuka has an exclamation point. And the reason why she's kind of alerting us to this is because if I do this training, I think it's guaranteed that she's going to give us a hint to learn a new skill. So skills that your horse girl can learn are whatever skills that she starts with, but it's also skills that support card horse girls can give you as a hint. And why it's a hint, it's not the skill, because you have to still spend skill points to learn it, right? I could spend 120 right now and confirm, and I'll learn the skill that she's able to learn at the start. I'm going to hit the training for Silent Susuka here for speed. And it's going to be a success. And support card events over here, right? That's what it said. It is going a little quick, but you could see on your log and on my log on the right that Silent Susuka did a support card event, and Maruzensky gained 1 hint level for one of those skills. And that's how the support cards are going to give your currently trainee horse girl more skills. So if I look at skills right now, you can see over here, I just learned this one, or rather I got a hint towards it, and it's discounted. It's 10% off, and I could learn it. And it'll allow me to slightly increase velocity on a straight. And that's where like different rarities of support cards come in, because the different rarity ones typically have better skills that they pass down, but it still has to match what your horse girl is trying to do. What training do we do here? Typically, what I like to do at the start, I don't know if it's the most optimal thing, but what I like to do at the start is I like to focus on building the friendships with my support cards. The more friendships I build, the more likely I am to hit a powered up training, a friendship training that will enhance the output of the training itself. So it's kind of hard to understand without seeing it. So we'll keep playing and you'll be able to see exactly what I mean by that. We are going to be learning stamina here. Another way to level up training and increase your training's effectiveness is by just doing the same training over and over. But right here, you'll notice that because I'm like half energy, that there is a 9% failure rate. 9% rate is a pretty good, acceptable risk for me. I think it's a pretty low chance that I fail. So we're going to go with speed because it has Silent Susuka, and we want to improve the speed training as well on its own. So let's see. Hopefully we don't fail. Okay, good. We don't fail. And her mood is up. Mood is good because mood is another multiplier on your training's output. Increase training results by 10% and the attributes while running by 2%. So yeah, you always want to make sure you're maintaining a good mood. How you can do that is by making sure you don't fail. Don't fail these trainings. And this is 32%. That is still pretty low. I can like risk it here and just go. And I think 32% is pretty good. It's totally fine. It's acceptable. So it is risky, but we're gonna take a shot at it. So nice. Okay, cool. We got it. And like this is probably where I would stop and not train on the next one. But you see that the training leveled up, right? If you guys didn't catch it, I'll look at my log again. But when Akikawa showed up, she basically said, hey, training, the speed training leveled up. So now if I go training again, you'll see that, more importantly, is a different output, right? Before I was getting plus 10 or plus 11, but now it's plus 15. And this can go up to 5. These trainings can go up to 5. So you don't want to like do an even spread so much. Like, yes, you want to shore up on some of your weaker stats every now and then, but you almost always want to hyper focus on a couple trainings that you know is going to be paying off for your horse girl. Stamina is really good for like long runners. Speed is really good for like sprinters and also people who like to be in the leader of the pack. Guts is good too. It's decent, but it's an interesting stat. There's a lot to Guts. It's a little hard to break down. Power is also good. It's like their overtaking capability and their ability to kind of push through. Wit is their skill activation rate. So that is a stat that's definitely important if you learned a lot of good skills. But speed, as you might think, is very good for sure. It's not as important for long distance runners, though. What's more important for long distance runners is stamina and power. But for sprinters or people who are doing sprint or mile distance racing and people who are like front racing, right? Speed is very important. But you'll get a good feel of like what stats are good for what type of horse girl the more you play the game. So right now my energy is low. I'm looking at all my training and it's like this is the lowest fail rate, but at the same time it's not really that important of a training that I'm wanting to risk the 33% failure. I would rather take the rest here and allow myself to do better speed training after. So we're gonna rest here and I'll put do not show again. And this is totally random. It could be 70 energy that you recover, or 50 energy, or 20 energy. So you have like high rolls and low rolls. Now, this is an event. It's a trainee event. Trainee event means that it's an event exclusive to Maruzensky. These choices, these trainee events, they have different outputs, different outcomes that affect your horse girl in different ways. I don't know what this event is, so we're just going to have to learn. The more you play the game, the more times you see this event, the more you'll recognize like sort of the image of this event, the voice lines for it, and like pick the right choice that you know is going to be good for your horse girl. But it takes time. It takes amount of times playing this game. If you want to cheat, you could just go to Game Torah and I guess take a look at characters like Maruzensky. You could take a look at her events. So this one's called The Road to a Rad Victory. You could go over here and you could see, hey, top option gives me plus 10 stamina. Bottom option gives me plus 10 wisdom. Hey, I want stamina, so I'm going to pick the top option. You'll see here on the top left-hand corner that you have 1 turn left. 1 turn left till what, you may ask? You have 1 turn left until your make debut. Your make debut race. This is your first race, your first professional race with your horse girl. And it's important to basically make sure you win that make debut and be very efficient with your training. It's not like too difficult, but until you win a make debut, your horse girl's career doesn't really start, if that makes sense. So you definitely always want to make sure that you're doing the utmost to win this next race. Don't worry about your energy going into the race. Your energy levels has nothing to do with how your horse girl performs in a race. And over here, I think I am going to do this training because it's going to get me past the 4th bar with Silent Suzuka. We're going to do that. Guts. And now she's orange. That means she's at friendship level 80 out of 100. And that she's going to improve my training events. Now, it is race day. Race day, this is make debut race. So we want to make sure that we are ready for it. And so we're going to choose like which skill do we want to use, right? I'll probably go with this one because it's 20% off. That sounds pretty good to me. So we'll do that. Slightly increase velocity on the straight. And we'll hit back and we'll go to race. And so it'll say, okay, it's a turf. Turf is the grass racetracks, and it will be a sprint. Sprint is the shortest racetracks, right? Every horse girl has different racetracks that they're good at in terms of distance, and also in terms of whether they are good on turf racing or dirt racing. Haru Urara is good at dirt racing, that's why she's kind of featured here. And Mejiro McQueen is good at turf and long distance racing, that's why she's featured there. We're going to go there, and we're going to hit the Junior Mink debut, and we're going to hit the race button. And at this point, like, once you've clicked the race button, the results are already locked in, but you can kind of scope it out, see exactly, like, what your horse girl is up against. You can see over here, she's the #1 favorite. That means all 3 judges think that it is, they're very confident that she will win, okay? And you'll see that these are the skills that are available to her. And these are her stats. You could see a numeric or a visual representation of them. It tells you her aptitude. All of these specifications for this racetrack, Maruzenshi is good for. If you see like B or C, then you're not racing at full capacity. You're not racing at full potential. Mood is an effector for race, so definitely make sure that you have good mood going into the races. And then you could change strategy. You can change strategy, but it's pretty easy to determine like which strategy you should pick. Like, obviously you don't want to pick anything that's G. You want to pick things that are A, right? And so Maruzenshi is a really good front runner. That means she starts at the front and she finishes at the front. A pace runner is someone who kind of starts like a little in front, but not totally in the lead. And eventually they power up and push through and overtake the front runner. A late runner is someone that kind of runs really in the middle of the pack until later and they really push through. And finally, an end closer. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? It tells you exactly what it is. They tend to lag behind and conserve the most energy into pushing at the very end to get to the top. So I would say, like, for end runners and late runners, power is very important. Whereas speed is much more important for front runners. You can check the other runners here. And they typically, for your make debut, they don't put you up against very strong horse girls. They have very generic faces, very generic outfits. We do have to watch the race, which is always fun. This is like the most exciting part of the Uma Musume game. It's just seeing how your horse girl performs. And you have absolutely no control. You have no way to play. You don't cheer. You don't whip them. You don't like do anything to affect the race on your own. Everything that you've inputted into the race is all the training you've done up till now. At this point, it's all up to your horse girl. So yeah, she should take the lead. Yes, because she's the front runner, you're gonna notice that Maruzenshi, Silent Suzuka, these type of horse girls, they're gonna want to be in the front from the start, and they want to stay in the lead. And once you see these horse girls, Maruzenshi or Silent Suzuka, if they get overtaken, it's almost over. So you're always gonna want to cheer for them to kind of stay and keep their lead. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do at this point. The race is very short. This is a sprint track, by the way. So you're gonna see her activate her ability, and we're almost done with the race. I'm gonna up the volume. But yeah, it's always a lot of fun. Very hype to see, especially when you get to the higher grade races. I'll lower the volume a little bit. There you go. So, stayed in first. Perfect, right? Not all horse girls run like Maruzenshi does, though. So don't be surprised if you see your horse girl like lag behind or be in the middle of the pack. It all depends on what their strategy is and how they're built, right? A horse girl that's more dependent on power is going to want to be like in the middle of the pack and sort of fight their way to the top towards the end. I'd say now you have your make debut sort of concert, right? Every other horse girl, if they were the loser, they're the backup dancers, and your winner is going to be the main one. So these are always fun to watch. I've seen it a lot though. So, and we're gonna be focused on gameplay. So we're gonna go ahead and skip this one. Now, here you're gonna see friendship training, right? So this one is telling you friendship training is available, and you'll see by this little rainbow aura that pops from the training. If you click it, you'll see that speed training has a rainbow aura emitting from it because you are friends, or Maruzenski is friends with Silent Suzuka because she has 80 friendship rating, and because Silent Suzuka happens to want to train speed. Sometimes she might want to train stamina. Sometimes she might want to train power, guts, or wit, right? She might want to train any one of these things, but because she is a speed card, her preferred training is speed. And so that's how you can kind of pick and customize your deck, keeping these things in mind. What are the stats that are best for my horse girl? And what are the support cards I can do or put in to make it so that they appear more on this training so that they can build friendship easily with them and we can do friendship training faster and more frequently. So we'll hit the speed training. Hopefully we don't fail. It's 9%, but you never know. That's still a chance. But friendship training, that means we already have it. So she's going to train extra hard. The horse girls only do friendship training on their preferred training, and you can tell what their preferred training is by seeing their sort of attribute on the top left-hand corner. And over here, we could get training with Mihono Bourbon, and she's pretty close to getting that friendship rating that I need, so I'm definitely interested in training with her. Yes, we always do the first choice for this one. Nice. Good mood and recovered energy. So now, because my friendship rating with Tazuna is up now, right? I think, let's see, what is it? It's close to 80. It's not there. But now I could go recreation. We could go with Tazuna. And there's 5 different events. So 5 different times you go with Tazuna, something different happens. But it's always the same when, like, if you do a different career and you use Tazuna. G1. Asahi High. So the next objective is to place top 3 in Spring S. Okay? If you fail to complete any of these goals, by the way, your career's over. You're done. And your horse girl just retires in failure. So make sure you complete these. These are the most important races. But you can do more races than just these. And it's actually encouraged that you do them too. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we need a rest here. It usually does give you a warning, and I guess I missed it. The most important thing about summer training camp, the unique thing about it, is that all the trainings are level 5. So the question is, like, what do you train in a summer training camp? Do you train your strengths or do you train something else? The answer is typically you are going to want to train your worst stats. Friendship trainings are always very good though, for sure. It's very hard to ignore, very much. But you have like 4 turns in this summer training camp. It's important that you have good energy going into it, first of all. Posted at Rednu here. There are 2 times throughout an Uma's career that there will be a summer training camp. And it's on the 2nd year and the 3rd year during the summertime, starting in early July. Okay, so if you do lose like a key race, whether it's a race that is necessary for your career goals or any of the URA finale races, basically any career-ending races, you can use a clock to try again. But it only does it up to like 3 times, I think. And also, if your mood is low, like let's say you went into the race with good or medium mood, using a clock will improve the mood rating. And I'm pretty sure you could use this like up to 3 times. And using the clock will restart the race as if nothing ever happened. And over here, you can see that I end up in 1st place. I'm pretty surprised here because I retried it like 3 times and that was the 3rd final one. I don't think there's any reason not to try, honestly. Sometimes you do get worse results though. Sometimes you just flat out get worse results. But there you go. So right here, we are at the very end of the career. I won the final URA finale race. And now we're going to go over what the end winning screen looks like. Not bad. And so this is the final screen. So earlier you saw I was able to pick a skill. And these are all your stats, your skills that they've learned. And so what happens when you complete the career? You will finish the playthrough. It'll give you your rating of the Uma. So B rank is pretty good, especially for like a first Uma. I think the highest rating you can get for this scenario is A rank, as far as I remember. But these are the sparks. These are the traits that this Uma now can be used to pass down to other ones. And typically what you're looking for are high star ratings. So these are bad. They're not very good. You want high star ratings for pretty much everything, but essentially what you'd be wanting a lot of is like 3-star stamina, 3-star speed, and eventually you're going to collect more and more of these legacy Uma or veteran Umas and trying to get these 3-star ratings essentially. So it takes a while, but the reward is that you get to make stronger and stronger Umas as you play the game. So over here, we're going to take a look at the PvP and the PvP teams. So once you complete your first run, you'll be taken to the screen to essentially replace one of these Umas with your new one. And you can see that we have 5 different categories: sprint, mile, medium, long, dirt. Your goal here as a player is basically to create the best Umas for all 5 categories. And that will create a full PvP team and increase your ratings, and as well increase the rewards you get from PvP. So the final thing that I forgot to show was the being able to use your previously used Uma as a legacy Uma for your next one. So if I pick Maruzensky, we could see select a legacy. You can see that I cannot pick my Maruzensky one because that's herself. She cannot be passing on traits to herself, right? So what you have to do is pick someone else, right? You'd have to pick Daiwa Scarlet. That's probably a good idea. Like she's also a good front runner. She's also a good mile and medium runner. So I would pick Daiwa Scarlet, and then I would select Maruzensky as her legacy, and then I'll pick another compatible one, right? Probably like Vodka or Sakura Bakshino. But you can see how all of these Umas sort of compound on each other and build atop one another by being able to pass down these traits. But yeah, if you really wanted to get into the details of how you can max this affinity out, then you would use this compatibility calculator and just put in the horse girl that you're using, and it should be able to tell you like what it recommends. So if I go like Maruzensky, right, I could ask it to recommend, and it'll tell me, hey, these are the best parents for Maruzensky. Mihono Bourbon, she's not out in the game yet. Taiki Shuttle, Ines Fujin, Seeking the Pearl. All these horse girls are going to generally have better affinity when being the parent of the of this one. So in our case, I wouldn't be looking up Maruzensky. I would be looking up Daiwa Scarlet, right? And it'll tell me Vodka. So I want to raise a good Vodka. That way I could raise a good Daiwa Scarlet, and so on and so forth, right? And so yeah, that's why this game encourages you to play with as many characters as you can, so that you have as many veteran Umas that you have to make sure that you max out the affinity, max out the stats, max out the traits, max out everything to pass down to the next one on. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all you need to know about playing a career in Uma Musume. This game is one of my most favorite mobile games. It's very easy to play on mobile because it's a vertical aspect ratio. It's all just decision making, right? Evaluating risk and just picking the right training options, going for either focusing on a training or prioritizing more friendships. It's up to you how you play. Every horse girl is different. They have different sort of grades, different proficiencies in different types of tracks and different types of styles of racing. Again, you want to make sure that you have a sprint, a mile, a medium, a long, and I think there's one more. Oh, a dirt racer as well. So just make sure you have one of those, all of those. And yeah, there's just a lot of gameplay here. There's a lot of different story too. You could enjoy the story as you go. Now it's in English. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite gacha games. And hopefully with this, you have the absolute beginner's guide to just start thinking about the game in your own way. And that way you could start understanding like what other people are saying when they do a little more detailed guides and get more into the nitty-gritty of it, right? Because there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of different strategies, and it's just a really fun and open game, so definitely give it a shot. Anyway, that's all for me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.